catalyst for the LGBTQIA movement. June is celebrated as Pride Month around the country. And whereas the City of Hopkins believes in creating a spirit of community where all people feel safe and respected, and diversity is celebrated, and LGBTQIA people have made and continue to make great and lasting contributions to the City of Hopkins and to the greater community. And whereas while we are a society at large are slowly embracing new definitions of sexuality and gender, we must also acknowledge that the need for education and awareness remains vital to end discrimination and prejudice. And now, therefore, I, Brian Hunke, Mayor Pro Temp of the City of Hopkins in the state of Minnesota, along with my fellow council members, recognize, adopt, and proclaim this proclamation to urge all to observe this month and honor the contributions of LGBTQIA residents throughout the year.
Great, thank you.
Next on the agenda is to to approve the consent agenda. So there are 6 items under there. Number 1 is minutes of the May 17th, 2022 City Council special meeting proceedings. Number 2 is minutes of the May 17th, 2022 City Council meeting proceedings. Number 3 is approval of business license renewals for the term of July 1st, 2022 to July 30th, 2023. Number 4 is approval of temporary on-sale liquor license for JCI Hopkins. Number 5 is to ratify checks issued in May 2022. And number 6 is resolution approving Pershing Wealth Solutions BNY Mellon as an official depository for city funds. Does the council have any questions or want to bring up any items? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Next, under public hearings, we have a public hearing on the approval of a housing program for a multifamily housing development and the issuance of multifamily housing revenue bonds for the benefit of Alatus Hopkins LIHTC 1 LLC. Nick Bishop, can you?
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tempore and City Council. Yeah. I'll trip over a couple things if you need me to. So tonight I am here to request that you open and then subsequently continue a public hearing on the issuance of housing revenue bonds for the benefit of Alatus. These will be conduit bonds or private activity bonds, which are being issued on their behalf. They also require no payment from the city. They're secured solely by Alatus's revenue or other securities. The City Council previously authorized Alatus to apply for tax-exempt housing revenue bonds back in December of 2021. They did apply through the city, and Minnesota Management and Budget did approve them to issue up to $24.9 million of tax-exempt housing revenue bonds. The purpose of those bonds would be constructing affordable apartment building with 116 units that would eventually be part of the development at 325 Blake. The application was approved for that amount, $24.927 million. And then we also published a notice including that amount in the Sun Sailor to hold a public hearing tonight. Alatus has seen increased costs related to this building, and they're requesting that we increase the bond amount by up to $5 million. And that additional amount would be issued on a taxable basis. And that is really the reason why I'm asking to continue the public hearing. We're talking tonight technically about what was published as the $25 million. And on June 20th, we'll essentially hold another public hearing. And we'll also ask to approve the resolution that will issue approximately $30 million of both taxable and tax-exempt bonds for Alatus's benefit. And again, these are known as private activity bonds or conduit debt, and the city will have no obligation to pay. They won't affect our debt limits. They're paid and secured solely by Alatus. We have both Libby Katner from Kennedy and Graven, who is our bond counsel, and Chris Odmanson from Alatus, representing the developer. And you can ask myself or either of those two any questions you may have.
Good. I appreciate that. Does the council have any comments or questions at this time before we open up the public hearing?
When you say any amount over 24.9 million be issued on taxable basis, what do you mean by that?
Well, they will not be paying, they'll be tax exempt from federal taxes. So normally interest is interest on bonds could be taxable.
Okay.
Questions? No? Okay. Well, I can open up the public hearing for tonight, which again will continue on to the June 20th meeting as well.
Yep.
But, so the public hearing on the approval of a housing program for a multifamily housing development and the issuance of multifamily housing revenue bonds for the benefit of Alatus Hopkins LIHTC 1 LLC is now open. The purpose of this hearing is for the City Council to hear testimony relating to the proposed issuance of bonds. Anyone present will be given the opportunity to be heard. An official record is being made of what is said at this hearing. Therefore, persons addressing the council are requested to begin by stating their name and their address, and only one person may speak at a time. This is not a time for, or this is a time for public testimony. No debate is allowed. Your comments should be directed to the City Council, and out of respect for everyone, please keep your comments on topic. So before we open that to the audience, has there been any written materials that have come through
We have
city
not.
staff?
We have not received any materials
Okay.
or comment.
I now call upon any persons in the audience wishing to be heard on this matter.
I'm legally blind, so I can't see. But, excuse me, I don't know the formalities are here, but council.
Can you state your name and address first, please?
Mike Costanzo.
Or-
You want to speak into the microphone?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure, thank you very much.
Yep.
Hi, well, thank you very much. My name is Mike Estomba, E-S-T-O-M-B-A. I proudly live in 221 6th Avenue North, Hopkins here. And I just have a simple question. Could you guys define public housing for me? What that means? And that's all that's my only question, so that I have a better understanding of the topic.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I would have Julie define it.
Sure.
If she's on.
Libby? I think Libby is on.
Or Libby.
Yeah, council members, can you hear me? I'm
Yes, we can hear you.
this Zoom format. All right. Well, thank you. My name is Libby Kantner. I'm an associate attorney at Kennedy and Graven. As Nick said, we are representing the city of Hopkins here for this bond issuance. So what we're talking about here are multifamily housing conduit revenue bonds. And in order to qualify as such, they have to meet certain income requirements. And this specific project that we're talking about is a 50% project, which means that all of the units need to be affordable for a certain period of time for people who make at or below 50% of the area median income. So I don't know if that goes to the member of the public's question, but.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome.
Since I see nobody else coming up, can I get a motion to close? No, actually, we don't want to close the public hearing. Sorry. Do the council members have any other questions for Libby or Nick? Okay. So since there's no further comments, Can I get a motion to continue the public hearing on Monday, June 20th?
I'd like to make a motion to continue the public hearing on Monday, what is it, the 11th?
The 20th.
20th.
June 20, 2022.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And the motion passes to continue.
Thank you.
I think that is the last item on tonight's agenda. Announcements will be next city council work session is next Tuesday, June 14th at 6:30. And then the next city council regular meeting is on Monday, June 20th at 6:30. So is there any other announcements, Mike, that you want to share?
I'll also bring up this announcement right here.
Sure.
Open house for Hopkins Activity Center. That's on Tuesday, June 21st from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Looks like there'll be tasty treats, board games, meet volunteer members of the Bike Club and Media Center, pick up rental travel information, and you can play pickleball from 10:30 to noon. So if anyone is in the community, come on out. It looks like it'll be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Sure. So on that, can I get a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.